once again, these people who go off on diversity and inclusivity show exactly how much they really just hate you, and they want you off of everything, including this planet. This is the fakest movement of all time, as they've talked about this stuff. And it's interesting, as you watch Star Trek, it goes against the ethos of Star Trek and against everything, of course, that Gene Roddenberry stood for in this. I feel like in the 60s they did a little less lip service towards infinite diversity, infinite combinations, and actually, we're like, okay, cool. Like, people have different opinions and views and things like that, and we can respect everybody. And they've gone to a point now where it's just like they hate everybody so much, it's just disgusting. George Takei has been one of these people who's gone way, way over the line. As he's pushed into Blue Sky, of course, he's gone nastier, he's gone angrier, he's gone more hateful towards Catholics and conservatives and Christians. And this is really what this lifestyle is all about. I mean, his little Hollywood degeneracy is all this. It's just hating people and wanting them to lose their livelihoods and wanting them dead. And it's really, really sick. Now, this is going viral right now. It is a show called Jubilee, where this one guy who thinks he's a midwit who thinks he's smart. I'm debating extreme right-wing people to show how stupid they are and how smart I am. And if you look at it, it's not much of a debate. Like, this guy here actually holds his own pretty well and actually talks about rational things. But the dude just talks over him and tries to call him names. And then all the leftists go, oh, yeah, because that's all they're about. They don't have anything at this juncture. They don't have policies that work. They don't have anything that works well. But they still can make people lose their jobs and ruin their lives over just like the smallest of things. And that is something in 2025 that people need to be made aware of. There's not some big cultural watershed victory that's happened. All that's happened is they've tightened algorithms on different social media sites so you don't even get to see it anymore. What they've done on YouTube is made it so that your recommended videos don't pop up with channels like this one or others that are actually counterculture anymore. And that's why I'm urging everybody to move to Substack. It's so important because Substack's a free speech platform where I just control the content, and you sign up with your email. I get to connect directly with you. Very important stuff. So while it's really, really hard to get this on here, that's why you're seeing so many of the culture war commentating channels pivot to being like, we're just playing games now and things like that, trying to get their channel views back. Because it's just been a complete disaster. We've seen the Quartering get hit, Yellow Flash has gotten hit, Clownfish TV's gotten hit, Smash JT's gotten hit. Across the board, they have just nuked it, and they've done it on the user side to where it's like they know your user preferences. So they're showing you different content to try to manipulate your opinions. So that's what's happening here. That's how intense their AI algorithm is that they've put into place at this point. It's really crazy. And so, guys, get on here. It's in the description below, along with I've got books, a newsletter. I write my own science fiction and fantasy. If you like what Star Trek should be, I do a lot of that, and it's really, really good stuff that you'll enjoy. But for now, Phantom Pulse Substack's so important. Thanks for being here. So, in 2025, there's been a mantra, like I said, declaring woke is dead, which seems to be perpetuated by anti-woke influencers who want to pivot their content as big tech algorithms increasingly squash any dissent on their platforms. However, and they're being smarter about it now, by the way. They used to just ban everybody, right? They know that just like creates martyrs and the like, so what they do now is they just don't show it, and therefore you don't have anything to really say anything about. It's really insidious because you come across as a complainer if you do talk about it, right? That's why I'm building other platforms. It's so important, guys. Build other platforms. Get on here. However, the left's getting more aggressive than ever. Star Trek actor George Takei makes it clear he wants everybody with different political opinions other than his to lose their job, once again citing consequences and consequence culture. And that's what they've always said this whole time. It's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture, for not adhering to his extremist ideology. Now, Connor is a man who goes by Pine Sap or Feels Guy online. He uses pseudonyms because being Catholic conservative in online spaces is dangerous to a person in culture, even in 2025. Despite Donald Trump winning the presidency, corporatists are still out there persecuting people for their votes and beliefs in greater force than ever before. He went on the Jubilee Media channel on YouTube to talk about his experiences, and here's this debate and he talks about a bunch of stuff. It was a clear setup by the host. In the clip, the host starts going off of him. He goes, what about Nazis? What about? What about? What about? Whenever somebody's going, what about, they're just trying to put you on a defensive to call you names. And they're never like, it's always a disingenuous argument. That's why I have no tolerance for it on X when people start doing that. What about? Oh, you're not pure enough on this. Yeah, it's like, okay. I have no tolerance for that at this point, because it's just like these people are just out there intentionally trying to stir up outrage, and it's all fake, right? And so eventually he goes, what about the persecution of the Jews? It's like, roll my eyes. Shut up. This, like, again, this has nothing to do with anything. This Connor guy is like 20-something. You know, it's like he did not live 100 years with any of that 1940s and 1930s stuff. It's ridiculous. Just shut up. Like, it's so painful at this point. And he didn't take it seriously. And that's why he got in trouble, because he didn't take this stuff seriously. At this point, it's hard to take it seriously because it's not serious. It's not real. None of this stuff's happening. But it is pretty interesting as he says things. I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic. Now, that's a beautiful answer. And clearly, he just like, I don't want to deal with your like nonsense like thing where you're just like, what about the literal Nazis that don't exist and it's not even a thing? But he, you know, that's never enough for the left. They're obsessed with tying everything to this because they don't have anything other than that rhetoric. They have nothing for real. So if you believe in human dignity, and if you, that's not enough for them, because you have to be about every specific little instance and account for every specific thing every person did in all of history, except for they don't have to do that. They don't have to care about the communists or Pol Pot or any of that, who murdered tens of millions more than any of these people. It's a, you don't have to worry about that. You don't even have to worry about that ideology. These people openly call themselves communists, and they don't get fired for this, right? It's crazy. And that's what you have to turn it around, because honestly, and here's the thing with internet arguments and the like, nobody's ever trying to actually have a conversation, which is really painful, especially when you're on a platform like X or whatever. It's always like grandstanding and them trying to gotcha you so they can one-up you. I was dealing with one yesterday who was like, it was on a stupid topic of all things. I can't even, like Bain Books, which is a science fiction publisher, because I write science fiction. The guy's like, all you do is attack Bain Books. I'm like, I probably support Bain Books and like actually, have support their authors more than like any other influencer out there. I've probably sold them more books this year than anybody else. Well, I've seen you say bad. What bad things have I said? Oh, you say bad things all the time. You know. It's like, no, I don't know. Say it. And it just goes back and forth because this guy's trying to grandstand. And then as it goes along, and I'm actually trying to be nice to the guy, and this is why you don't do this kind of thing ever, right? He quote tweets me and goes, I'm an account with 12 followers, and this guy has 15,000, and he's spending the time on me? Ha, his followers must be bots. And it's like, okay, this is all these people do. They do not ever want a real argument. They just want to show that they're somehow superior to whoever else they disagree with on something, and still don't quite know what the guy is disagreeing about, but I gave up on it because I just don't have the time to deal with that at the end of the day. And unfortunately, this guy came in here because he's like, okay, I'm going to debate this liberal guy on his YouTube channel. That's a big YouTube channel, and I'm just going to do it. And he God bless him, he tried, and he came across, if you watch his full interview, which is in Fandom Pulse on the Substack, it's very, very cogent. He was very, very smart about everything, but it didn't matter. This little clip is what got him. And the guy, after he said this, what about Nazi persecution of the Jews? And the guy's like, geez. And he just keeps pounding on that. And it's like, and he's got to be a little smarter, I guess, because this is what they do, and this is what happens. So eventually the interviewer went full, and he went, I think you say, I'm a fascist. It's like, oh, gosh. And so the guy starts laughing about it because it's such a joke, right? And he goes, yeah, I am, sure. And the reason he did this, it was very clear, and he said this in interviews too, is like, it's so ridiculous, and I just don't take it seriously. And so it's like, take it off the table. Like, stop worrying about people calling you Nazi or fascist or whatever. And then unfortunately, the right still does. I was dealing with somebody the other day still, because I was talking with somebody on X, and he saw my reply to somebody. And I mentioned, somebody was talking about loan problems, and I said, the Jewish-controlled banks are really causing a problem for our society. And the guy flipped out at me and goes, I have to part ways with you now because you said Jewish-controlled banks. It's like, well, okay. Like, why are you just, like, stalking my replies to, like, see if we disagree about something? Like, and why do you, well, he doesn't even disagree with it. It's just boomer-con mentality, right? You got to stop worrying about this. And I said this morning, too, and this is exactly about this guy here. Very important messaging right here. that I think, and this is on this topic here. Remember, the left really hates you and wants you dead. Every time you purity spiral with this person doesn't hold the perfect exact conservative belief I do and cancel someone, you're aiding these people in control of culture. And what it does is it aids this type of behavior from the left to where this guy can get fired because he just kind of laughed and made a joke out of some guy and not taking his "you're a Nazi" seriously, right? And so that's where it's at right now. And so he found himself losing his job, and this is it. This is 2025. He's lost his job. He was fired because he just, tried to stand up to this nonsense here. And that's crazy because, again, this guy's an upstanding young man. If you follow his account and all that, he's all about Christianity, about Catholicism, the gospel. He's very just like not an ideologue or anything like that. And what's weird on this level too, like this guy again was cogent. He was smart. He's made about $30,000 off this Give, Send, Go and the like, which is not chump change. That's pretty solid. But think about this: like this woman shouts the N-word, and a bunch of people simp for her and make her over $500,000 in a couple days. And it's like this is the difference between like men having cogent arguments and doing the right thing, and this guy's not crude or anything like that, and just people going online and going woman, and it's like we have to deal with that in our society too. That's another video for another time. But my gosh, it's really ridiculous, that dichotomy right here. But this is where it goes crazy. And again, this is why I said this on X, that like this is a bad thing, because George Takei goes, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. And he's cheering on this guy getting fired because this interviewer set him up, went off on and badgered him about Nazis, like again, this guy has nothing to do with Nazis. And then the guy just didn't take it seriously. And so he's supposed to have consequences. You're supposed to lose your livelihood for this. You're supposed to not be able to feed your family or yourself. And in essence, George Takei says you're supposed to die if you don't take seriously people hyperventilating about Nazis on some sort of online platform. This is crazy. And this is how sick they are. This is how hateful they are. You want literal Nazi they are, right? George Takei does want anybody who disagrees with him dead, is what is the logical extrapolation about this. And it's really, really sad, but it is where these people are at. That's why you can't give an inch. That's why you can't stop fighting, guys, because this is such an important battle. And we have a soul of a nation really to save here right now. This is important stuff. And, we're going to get suppressed in talking about it. It is what it is. But we do have to push forward and keep spreading the message of what's going on so people are aware of these horrible things and work to change it. We really do. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Do sign up for the Fandom Pulse Substack, guys. So important. And like I said, I've also got a newsletter so you can find me, and, of course, books. I'm making my own culture to combat this stuff, and that's part of what we need to do and get behind as well. Thanks for being here. We'll be back.